The wind cuts through my thin hoodie like a blade, sharp and unforgiving, as I stumble down the cracked sidewalk of a Denver suburb. It's March, and Colorado's early spring air carries a bite that sinks into my bones. My sneakers slap against the pavement, each step echoing in the empty street. But I don't know where I'm going. Not anymore. Just hours ago, I was Cecilia, a 17-year-old with a backpack full of algebra homework and a life that made sense. Now, I'm nobody, cast out by the only family I've got left, my name smeared by a lie so vicious it feels like it's clawing at my skin. My stepsister Hannah called me a prostitute. My father believed her. And just like that, he threw me out. No questions, no proof, just his voice roaring, "You're a disgrace." The words burn in my chest, hotter than the cold seeping through my socks. I clutch my duffel bag tighter, the straps digging into my palm. It's all I have. Jeans, a charger that might not work, and a half-empty water bottle rattling inside. My phone's at 4%, its dim glow mocking me as I check it again, hoping for, what? A text from Dad saying it was a mistake? A message from someone, anyone who cares? The screen stays blank and I shove it into my pocket, my breath hitching. The streetlights flicker above, casting long shadows that stretch like fingers trying to pull me back to that house, to that moment when everything shattered. It was just after 4 p.m. when I pushed open the front door of our split-level ranch, the kind you see in every suburban neighborhood from here to Boulder. The air inside was wrong. Too still, too heavy, like the house itself was holding its breath. No hum of the TV, no clatter of dishes. My stepmom, Karen, stood in the kitchen, her knife slicing through carrots with a rhythm that felt mechanical, deliberate, like she was cutting something deeper than vegetable. She didn't look at me. Dad was pacing in the hallway, his work boots leaving faint smudges on the tile, back and forth, his jaw tight, his eyes anywhere but on me. I dropped my backpack by the door, the thud louder than it should have been. "Dad?" I said, my voice small, already sensing the storm. He stopped pacing, and when he turned, his face was a mask of rage I'd never seen before. "You think I'm stupid, Cecilia?" His voice exploded, shaking the walls. I froze, my heart slamming against my ribs. "What?" I managed, but he was already closing the distance, his finger jabbing the air like a weapon. "You think I don't know what you've been doing? Sneaking out at night, meeting strange men, using God knows." His words hit like punches, each one knocking the air out of me. I shook my head, my mouth dry. "Dad, I don't play dumb," he roared, his voice dropping to a hiss that was somehow worse. "Hannah told us everything. Everything." My stomach twisted. Hannah? My stepsister, with her perfect ponytail and her TikTok following, the girl who'd smile at me one minute and roll her eyes the next. "Dad, what are you talking about?" I said, my voice cracking. "I've never—" "She saw you," he cut in, his eyes blazing. "Leaving at night, coming back hours later, dressed like a damn prostitute?" The word landed like a slap, sharp and humiliating. I couldn't breathe. I turned to the kitchen, where Karen's knife kept chopping, her back still to me. "Hannah's lying," I said, louder now, desperation creeping in. "Ask her to say it to my face. Please, ask her." "She's not the one on trial here," Dad snapped. "You are." I looked to Karen, waiting for her to turn, to say something, anything. She didn't. "Did she show you proof?" I pressed, my voice shaking but sharp. "Pictures? Anything?" Dad's face hardened. "I don't need pictures. I believe my daughter." The words cut deeper than anything else. "I'm your daughter." I wanted to scream, but my throat closed up. His eyes met mine, and for a moment I saw something flicker. Doubt, maybe, or shame. But it vanished. "I can't even look at you," he whispered. "You're a disgrace." He pointed to the door. Get out. No yelling match, no second chance, just those 2 words, cold and final. My legs moved before my brain caught up, carrying me upstairs to my room. I grabbed my gym duffel, shoving in whatever my trembling hands could find. Jeans, a hoodie, a charger I wasn't sure worked. Downstairs, the silence was deafening. Karen didn't look up. Hannah was nowhere. The front door clicked shut behind me, and the world outside felt like it had tilted off its axis. Now, hours later, I'm wandering streets I've known my whole life, but they feel foreign, hostile. The wind howls, tugging at my hoodie, and I pull it tighter, my fingers brushing the faint scar on my neck. It's barely visible now, a thin line of pale skin, but every time I touch it, my stomach knots. It's not from a fall or a clumsy accident. It's from a night I still can't fully piece together. A memory that flickers like a bad signal. Darkness, hands, fear. I shake my head, pushing it away. Not now. I can't afford to fall apart. My feet carry me to a small park near a community church, the kind with a steeple that looms over the neighborhood like a tired guardian. There's a wooden bench tucked under a sagging willow tree, its slats weathered and splintered. I drop onto it, my duffel thudding beside me. The cold seeps through my jeans, and I curl into myself, arms wrapped tight around my knees. My phone buzzes, the last of its battery warning me it's about to die. I pull it out. The screen's glow harsh against the dark. No messages. No missed calls. Just a low battery icon and a lock screen photo of me and Dad at a Rockies game last summer, his arm around my shoulders, both of us grinning like life was simple. I swipe it away. That's when I see it, carved into the bench's wood, crude and uneven. You are enough. 3 words, probably scratched by some kid with a pocket knife, maybe meant for someone else entirely. But they hit me like a lifeline, anchoring me to the bench as the wind picks up, rattling the willow branches above. I trace the letters with my finger, my breath shaky. You are enough, I whisper, testing the words. They feel fragile, but I say them again, louder, like a prayer I'm not sure I believe. The night grows darker, the temperature dipping below freezing. My breath clouds in front of me, and my fingers go numb inside my hoodie sleeves. I'm not ready for this. Homelessness, abandonment, the weight of a lie I didn't create. But then I hear it. Footsteps crunching on the gravel path behind me. My heart leaps and I spin around, expecting Dad, maybe Hannah, someone to say this was all a mistake. Instead, a shadow looms. A man, tall, his face hidden under a hood. He's moving too fast, too close. "Hey, you okay out here?" he calls, but his voice is rough, and something about it sends a chill down my spine. I grab my duffel and stand, my legs shaky. "I'm fine," I say, backing away, my voice barely steady. He steps closer into the dim glow of a streetlight, and I see the glint of something in his hand. A bottle, maybe. Or worse. "You sure? Looks like you need help." His tone is wrong, predatory, and my pulse spikes. I don't think. I just run, my sneakers pounding the grass, my bag bouncing against my hip. The park's paths twist and turn, and I duck behind a cluster of pines, my breath ragged. I wait, listening, but the footsteps don't follow. After what feels like forever, I creep back to the bench, my heart still racing. He's gone, but the fear lingers, sharp and real. I sink back onto the bench, clutching my bag like a shield. The carved words are still there, mocking me now. You are enough. Enough for what? To survive this? To fight a lie that's already spreading like wildfire? I check my phone again, 2% now, and open Instagram, my fingers trembling. Hannah's story is up, a black screen with white text. Some people get what they deserve. No names, but I know it's about me, and the comments are already piling up. Strangers piling on, their words slicing through me. She's trash, kicked out for a reason. I close the app, my chest tight. I'm not just Cecilia anymore. I'm a story, a cautionary tale in someone else's narrative. The next morning I wake stiff and aching, the bench's slats digging into my back. The sun's barely up, but the cold is relentless, my fingers numb as I stretch them. A jogger passes, her eyes sliding over me like I'm part of the scenery. I pull my hoodie up, hiding my face, and head toward a gas station across the street. The restroom's grimy, but it's got a sink. I splash water on my face, trying to wash away the night, but the mirror shows a girl I barely recognize. Pale, hollow-eyed, a stranger. The attendant bangs on the door. 2 minutes, kid. I grab my bag and slip out, my cheeks burning. I walk to a library 3 blocks away, its steps cold under my sneakers as I wait for it to open. Inside, I find a corner and plug in my phone behind a stack of old magazines. The screen lights up, and I see more notifications. Hannah's posts, her followers eating up her lies. I open a book, The Catcher in the Rye, and try to lose myself in Holden's voice. But my mind keeps drifting to Dad's face, to Hannah's smirk, to the scar on my neck that won't let me forget. That afternoon, the sky darkens and a snowstorm rolls in, sudden and brutal. I'm caught in the open, halfway to the library when the flakes start falling, thick and fast. The wind howls, stinging my face, and I realize I've got nowhere to go. I spot a gazebo in the park, its wooden frame sagging under the weight of snow. I duck inside, but the roof creaks ominously and a crack splits the air as a beam buckles. I dive out just as it collapses, snow and splintered wood crashing where I stood seconds ago. My heart pounds as I scramble to my feet, the cold biting deeper now, my clothes soaked. I make it to a diner, the kind with neon signs and greasy menus, hoping to warm up. The waitress eyes me warily as I slide into a booth, my bag dripping onto the floor. I order a coffee I can't afford just to stay, but when I reach for my bag, I realize my charger's gone, lost in the gazebo's collapse. My phone's dead now, my only connection to the world severed. I sip the coffee, its bitterness grounding me, and overhear 2 women at the counter. Heard about that girl on TikTok? One says, kicked out for hooking? Wild. My stomach churns. Hannah's lies are spreading faster than I can run. That night, I'm back on the bench, the snow still falling, lighter now but relentless. I'm shivering, my teeth chattering, when I hear it again. Footsteps. This time it's a group. Their voices loud, slurred, teens maybe, but their laughter feels dangerous. Yo, is that her? One calls, and I catch the glow of a phone screen pointed my way. I grab my bag and bolt, slipping painfully. I duck into an alley, my breath loud in my ears, and wait until their voices fade. My ankle throbs, but I can't stop. Not here, not now. By day 4, I'm barely holding on. Hunger gnaws at me, a constant ache. I find a dumpster behind the diner, its stench overwhelming but promising food. I'm digging through it, my hands shaking when the back door swings open. A cook shouts, "Get out of here!" and hurls a bottle. It misses, shattering against the wall, but I run, my heart pounding, scraps of bread clutched in my fist. I eat them under a streetlight, the taste of desperation stronger than the mold. On day 5, I'm back at the library, my ankles swollen, my body aching. I'm flipping through a random book when a woman approaches, her cardigan too heavy for the season. "You look like you need this," she says, her voice steady, not pitying. She hands me a turkey sandwich, a water bottle, and a transit pass. "Mrs. Carter," she introduces herself, her eyes kind but firm. "There's a shelter in Cheyenne. No sermons, just a bed." She leaves a card with an address and walks away. I stare at the sandwich, my throat tight, and eat it slowly, each bite a small rebellion against the emptiness. That night, I'm back on the bench, the transit pass in my pocket, the carved words under my fingers. You are enough. But as I whisper them, I hear a rustle in the bushes. My heart stops. A figure steps out. A man, older, his eyes glinting in the dark. "Lost, kid," he says, his voice low, too close. I grab my bag and run again, my ankle screaming, my lungs burning. I don't stop until I'm blocks away, hiding behind a closed storefront, my breath fogging the glass. I'm not safe here. I'm not safe anywhere. But those words on the bench won't let me go. They're a promise, a challenge, a dare to keep fighting. Hannah's lies are loud, but I'm still here, still breathing. I don't know how I'll survive this, how I'll claw my way back from being nobody, but as I sit in the dark, the transit pass heavy in my hand, I know one thing: I'm not done yet. And whoever carved those words, they knew I wouldn't be. The bus rumbles out of Denver at dawn, its engine groaning as it pulls away from the church stop where I've spent the last 2 weeks, clinging to a splintered bench and 3 carved words: "You are enough." My duffel bag, now lighter from days of scavenging, sits on my lap. Mrs. Carter's transit pass tucked inside my hoodie. I'm Cecilia, or maybe I'm Emma now, the fake name I gave at the Cheyenne shelter to keep my past from following me. The window beside me is streaked with grime, blurring the Colorado suburbs into a smear of gray and green. I don't know where I'm going, not really. The paths will take me to Wyoming, to a town I've never heard of, with a shelter that promises a bed and no sermons. But as the miles stretch out, the weight of Hannah's lies presses heavier than the bag in my arms. My stepsister's TikTok video, accusing me of being a lying sister, is racking up likes 50,000 and counting. I'm not just running from a family that erased me. I'm running from a world that believes I'm the villain. The shelter in Cheyenne is a squat brick building, its faded sign reading Hope Haven in chipped paint. The woman at the desk, her name tag reading Jenna, barely looks up as I mumble "Emma, just Emma," and slide the transit pass across the counter. She nods, like she's heard 100 half-truths before, and hands me a key to a dorm room. Inside, 3 other women share the space, 2 pregnant, their hands resting protectively on their bellies, and 1 pale and twitchy, her arms marked with scars she doesn't hide. The air smells of bleach and desperation, and at night the room hums with muffled cries and whispered curses. I claim a bunk by the wall, my back pressed against the cold cinder block, and lie awake, my eyes tracing cracks in the ceiling. Did they think I belonged here? The question gnaws at me, sharper than the hunger I've grown used to. On my 3rd night, I wake to screams, not human but mechanical. An alarm blares and the smell of smoke chokes the air. My heart lurches as I scramble out of bed, my ankle still tender from that icy park escape. The hallway is a haze of gray, the fire alarm's red light pulsing like a warning. "Move, move," someone shouts, but the exit is blocked by a crowd of panicked women. I grab my duffel and press against the wall, my lungs burning as I inch toward a side door. It's jammed, the handle hot under my palm. I shove harder, my shoulder screaming, until it gives way, spilling me into the cold Wyoming night. The fire is small, a kitchen mishap, they'll say later, but for those endless seconds I'm trapped, the smoke curling around me like Hannah's lies, suffocating and relentless. I collapse on the grass, coughing, my hands trembling as I clutch my bag. I'm alive, but the fear lingers, a reminder that safety is a luxury I can't afford. Jenna, the shelter coordinator, finds me the next morning, her face lined with exhaustion. "You've got to pick something. GED prep or volunteer work," she says, her tone firm but not unkind. I choose the GED course, not because I care about the diploma, but because it means fewer questions, less chance of someone prying into the scar on my neck or the name I'm hiding. The classroom is a cramped room in the community center, with mismatched chairs and a whiteboard streaked with old marker. Mr. Ellis, my teacher, is in his 50s, his buzz cut and pressed jeans hinting at a military past. His eyes don't judge, they listen. He gives us our first assignment, write an essay about something that shaped you. I almost skip it, but that night, in the dim glow of the shelter's dorm, I pull out a spiral notebook from the donation bin. Its cover is faded red, a child's scrawl of "keep out" torn away. I start writing, my pen shaking. The girl they chose to erase. I don't name Hannah or Dad, but every word bleeds with the truth I can't say aloud. I turn it in, expecting nothing. But Mr. Ellis reads it silently at his desk, then slides it back with a look that cracks something inside me. "You are not what they say you are," he says. I'll vouch for that. His words are simple, but they shift something in me, like a door creaking open after years of being locked. Days blur into weeks, and I build a routine to keep the chaos at bay. Mornings at the GED class, afternoons at the library, typing my journal entries into emails I send to myself, each one time-stamped, a digital anchor for a girl who feels like she's drowning. I'm careful, keeping my head down, but the world finds me anyway. One afternoon, during lunch in the shelter's common room, a girl named Lexi, loud and brash, shoves her phone in my face. "This your sister?" she asks, her voice casual, like she's sharing gossip, not a grenade. It's Hannah's TikTok, her lip gloss shining as she spins her story. This is the truth about my fake sister who lied to everyone. The caption reads, "Protecting my family hurt, but it was worth it. 50,000 likes. The comments burn. She was sleeping with a teacher, right? Trash always smells eventually." I bolt to the bathroom, locking myself in a stall, my stomach heaving until nothing comes up but bile. I grip the sink, my reflection a ghost in the cracked mirror. How does a lie get this loud? How does it outrun me when I've done nothing but run? Start documenting everything. My notebook a battlefield. Dates, times, Hannah's words, the people who believed her. I draw arrows connecting names, mapping the lies spread like a virus. Hannah's name sits at the center. Her TikTok a spiderweb catching strangers' likes and neighbors' whispers. I write, "I was there, I saw it, I am not what they say," over and over, sometimes 20 times a page, sometimes just once, but always there, a defiance against the erasure. At the library, I learn words I never thought I'd need. Defamation, slander, emancipation. They feel too big, like weapons I don't know how to hold, but I write them down anyway, my pen a quiet rebellion. One evening, Jenna calls me to her office, her eyes sharp with something new. "A lawyer called for you," she says, handing me a slip of paper. "Tom says he knows Mr. Ellis." My pulse spikes. A lawyer? Another accusation? I wait an hour before dialing, my hands sweaty, around the shelter's payphone. Tom's voice is gruff but steady. "Mr. Ellis sent me your essay," he says. "I'm not promising miracles, but I do pro bono work. I can help with paperwork, maybe your records. No cat," I nod, forgetting he can't see me. "Okay," I whisper, my voice barely there. "Thank you." The next day, I'm crossing the street to the library when a car swerves too close, its tires screeching as it misses me by inches. I stumble onto the curb, my heart hammering, my ankle throbbing from the old injury. The driver doesn't stop, but I see a phone in his hand, the screen glowing like his filming. Was it random, or did someone know me? Hannah's lies have made me a target. A name in comment sections, a face in viral videos. I shake it off and keep walking, but the fear sticks, a shadow I can't outrun. At the library, I dive deeper, saving screenshots of Hannah's posts, her followers' comments, anything that mentions me. I create a locked Google Drive, uploading my journal entries, my truth preserved in pixels. I'm not loud like Hannah, but I'm building something stronger. Evidence. One afternoon, I'm shelving books at my new job, a small bookstore with creaky floors and the smell of old paper, when a woman approaches, her phone already out. "You're that girl from TikTok, right?" she says, her voice dripping with judgment. "Hannah was right about you." My hands freeze on a copy of To Kill a Mockingbird. "I'm not her," I say, but she's already walking away, typing on her phone. I slip into the back room, my breath shaky, and sit on a crate, my face in my hands. For the first time in weeks, I cry, not for her words, but for the weight of being seen as something I'm not. The bookstore becomes my refuge, its quiet shelves a shield against the noise. I'm restocking the local authors section when a flyer slips under the door, my old school ID photocopied on it, the words "Traitor" scrawled in red ink. Below it, a cartoon monster with fangs glares up at me. My stomach lurches, but I don't rip it up. I fold it carefully, tucking it into the folder where I keep my evidence: shelter logs, class certificates, screenshot, proof. My voice may be quiet, but it's growing clearer. And the letter comes, plain white, official, delivered to the shelter with Jenna's uneasy glance. It's a cease and desist from a law firm in Denver, accusing me of harassing Hannah through social media and public commentary. It claims I've caused her emotional distress with a campaign of slander. I laugh, bitter and hollow, because I haven't posted a thing. I've been silent, invisible, erased. Silence, Tom says later in his cramped office, a back room at a CPA's. He's a scare tactic. They want you defensive, he says, tapping the letter. But this opens a door. If they're on record, so are we. He digs deeper, his contacts pulling up a police report Hannah filed 3 weeks ago, claiming I sent threatening DMs from anonymous accounts. No proof, just her word and blurry screenshots. Now I'm not just a name. I'm a file. That night, I walk the streets, the Wyoming air sharp with the promise of snow. I pass a bookstore window, its warm glow pulling me in. My shift doesn't start for hours, but I shelve books anyway, the routine grounding me. Then I see her. A girl, maybe 15, curled up on a bench outside the shelter, her hoodie pulled tight like armor. Her eyes are red, her arms wrapped around herself like she's trying to disappear. I don't ask her story. I don't need to. I grab a blanket from the shelter's donation shelf and drape it over her shoulders. She looks up, nodding silently, and something in me shifts. I can't run again, not when I see myself in her eyes. I stay, not out of courage, but because running feels like betraying her, betraying me. The next morning, Tom texts me, "Check your inbox, something's up." I slip into the bookstore's back room, my hands shaking as I open my laptop. It's a GoFundMe titled "Help Hannah Heal from Years of Abuse." My face, cropped from a photo at Hannah's 16th birthday, stares back, grainy and grayed out. The description calls me unstable, manipulative, dangerous. It's raised $15,000, 0 cents in 4 days. With comments from neighbors, classmates, parents, even a distant cousin, no one should live in fear of her. Hannah's a saint for enduring this. My chest tightens, rage and hurt warring inside me. They've turned my pain into their profit, my name into their narrative. At lunch, I meet Tom outside the Cheyenne courthouse, the wind whipping my hair as we walk the square. "They're smart," he says, sipping coffee. No full name, but the photo, the details. It's a smear campaign dressed as charity. I clench my phone, my knuckles white. "Can we fight it?" I ask. "Not directly," he says, "but we archive everything, screenshots, comments, donor names." I nod, my jaw tight. Back at the shelter, I ask to see Ms. Turner, the director. I lay out the truth, no theatrics, just facts. Her jaw tightens when I mention the fundraiser. "We have logs," she says, Time-stamped. I can confirm you were here when they claim you were abusing them. My eyes sting, but I don't cry. Thank you, I say. She shakes her head. You're not invisible here, Emma. The next day, I'm restocking books when a man slips into the store, his coat too heavy for spring. He doesn't browse, just stands by the counter, his eyes on me. You're Cecilia, right? He says, his voice low. My heart stops. I saw the flyer, he adds, pulling out a crumpled copy with my face, the word traitor glaring. You should be careful. He leaves before I can respond, but the threat hangs in the air, heavy as smoke. I add the flyer to my folder, my hands steady now. Fear is there, but so is something else. Resolve. Weeks later, my phone rings, a blocked number. I let it ring twice, my pulse racing before I answer.
Cecilia?
It's Dad, his voice gruff, the same one that called me a disgrace. I need your help. No apology, no explanation, just a plea. It's about the house. Things are bad. I'll explain, but we need you. I let the silence stretch, my fingers gripping the folder with my evidence, the flyers, the screenshots, the truth. You believed her, I say finally, my voice steady. You threw me out without a question. Now you want my help? He repeats, please, Cecilia. I hang up, the bookstore's hum filling the silence. For the first time, I'm not the one who needs something. 2 days later, I'm on a bus back to Colorado, not for him, not for Hannah, but for me. Closure, I tell myself, though the word feels flimsy. The meeting is at a diner off I-25, its neon sign flickering, its booths sticky with years of spilled coffee. I arrive first, my hands wrapped around a mug I won't drink. Dad walks in, late as always, his suit too big, his face carved with lines I don't remember. He hesitates, then sits, his hands trembling as he sets down a manila folder. We never meant to hurt you, he starts, his voice brittle. Hannah was young, scared. After your mom died, things fell apart. I glance at the folder, my voice cold. Is that your excuse? He looks away. We're being sued, he says. Defamation, the fundraiser. They're coming for us, for Hannah. Your name's in it too. I lean forward, my voice low. You believed her lies. Now you want me to clean up your mess? He flinches, then admits, she confessed a few months ago, said it was jealousy, but she's my daughter. The words hit like a blade. So was I say, the truth sharp and final. I stand, slinging my bag over my shoulder. This isn't my fight. As I walk out, he calls, you're stronger than us. I don't turn back. The diner's door swings shut, and the cold air greets me like an old friend. Back in Cheyenne, Tom spreads my evidence across a folding table at the community center. My journals, screenshots, shelter logs. We're ready, he says. I nod. Not fearless, but unafraid. The press conference is small. Just a podium, a camera, and me in a thrifted blazer. I open my notebook. At 17, I was called a prostitute by the people who should have protected me, I begin, my voice steady. I read, my truth nights on the bench, hunger, fear, survival. A reporter asks, do you want revenge? I pause. No, I say. I want peace, but not by pretending this didn't happen. The camera's red light blinks, carrying my words to a world that once believed Hannah's lies. That night, Tom sends my folder to the fundraiser's legal firm. 2 days later, an investigation opens. Hannah goes live on Instagram, tears staged, her story crumbling. Comments turn. There's proof now. This isn't it, Hannah. Her video cuts off, frozen. I don't watch. I don't need to. I'm at the bookstore, shelving poetry, when a girl, 17, nervous, approaches. You wrote that piece, she says. It helped me. I smile, my hands shaking. Thank you, I say, and she leaves. I drive to the church in Denver, to the bench. The words are still there. You are enough. I add, I know, and walk away, not running, but moving towards something better. A life I'm building, page by page, truth by truth,